Okay, Great and Glorious, Seems to Be Famous One Day, Nick Dutch here yet again. And we're going on with the Wikipedia article on scientific methodology and making some comments as we go along. And yes, what I am doing is adding some of my other ideas of a vaguely sociological and psychological science basis, so we can come to a cohesive way of understanding, a way of looking at phenomenon which is dubbed or called supernatural phenomenon from a scientific standpoint. Although procedures vary from one field of inquiry to another, identifiable features distinguish scientific inquiry from other methodologies of knowledge. Okay, so scientific inquiry is its own subset of analysis, we can say. Scientific researchers propose hypotheses as explanations of phenomenon. So we can suggest that something happens, so we can create a hypothesis as to why it might happen. But at that stage, we can't say that that is a dead cert concrete thing which is true. You know, we can't do that. And design experimental studies to test these hypotheses. Okay, so when we're dealing with the supernatural phenomenon, it is worthwhile testing and retesting and working out what particular phenomenon we think has caused something to occur. So at this point, I would say that it's very difficult when we use bad quality language to try and suggest that there is one particular cause, such as a spirit did this. Well, that would suggest that this one spirit will be able to do it reliably and all the time. That isn't necessarily true if it isn't just the idea of this one particular spirit which is doing things. There's other things that's got to happen, such as the practitioner's got to be in a different state of body and a different state of mind to make these things occur. These steps must be repeatable in order to dependably predict any future results. Well, yeah, that's important also with meditation. You can't enter into a meditative state if you can't enter into a meditative state, for instance. And you can't make things happen as a result of a meditative state if you can't get into that meditative state in the first place. So yes, you do need to be able to work out from a supernaturalist point of view what the original states of being were. Theories that encompass wider domains of inquiry may bind many hypotheses together in a coherent structure. This in turn may help form new hypotheses or place groups of hypotheses into context. So yes, you can take inspiration from nearly any source which is relevant and see whether those sources of information are useful to what you're investigating. But again, within the New Age world, we've got a number of big problems, and that is that the phenomena of religion and religious belief which gets in the way, as I will explain later on as we go on through this particular article. Among other facets shared by the various fields of inquiry is the conviction that the process be objective to reduce a biased interpretation of the results. And this is something that I am rather seemingly hypocritically passionate about, because I am very passionate about experimenting to see what happens. I'm very passionate about that indeed. But I can't then turn around to you and say, I know precisely why this has happened. I can tell you what has seemed to happen or what seems to have occurred. And then we can take it from that point. And that's you know, as far as we can go. We can create seeming models of the world incorporating supernatural energies and supernatural beings, but we can't say for sure that they're real. If I was to be totally subjective, I'd be turning around to you and saying, yes, it really is ghosts that are doing this, it really is angels that are doing this, it really is devils that are doing this, that, and the other, which is, of course, from a scientific and analytical point of view, complete bullshit. So, you know, we've got to take those labels, those words, and just throw them completely out of the window, because you know this is the problem. The supernatural world is turned into a you know, a complete circus by people in the New Age world, because we apply words from religious schools of thought and then say that these things are 110% true without thinking that these models of the world are just models of the world, and therefore it should be thrown out the window, and we should look at what's happening, the actual results, so to speak, and try and break those down. Try and work out where there's some good stuff, where there's some bad stuff, and move on from that point. And take away the subjective bias. So I'm very passionately in favor of removing a lot of the stupidity that's in the New Age movement. Another basic expectation is to document, archive, and share all data and methodology so they are available for careful scrutiny by other scientists. This is again something which isn't done by people who are in the New Age world and practicing their art and science of change in accordance with the will, which is a big problem. And when I try and discuss an experiment that I've done with someone else in the New Age world, I can then get attacked because I haven't seen it from a religious point of view, or there are various other religious ideas which will get in the way of the person I'm expressing this to feeling comfortable about their understanding of life and their understanding of the spiritual world. So there's lots of little problems with the way that we, stroke the New Age movement, stroke even myself to a certain degree, do things, and that's also got to be got rid of. Okay. Thereby allowing other researchers the opportunity to verify results by attempting to reproduce them. This is another problem, because total reproducibility, when we're dealing with meditation, even meditation, nothing more complex than meditation, can be difficult because we're dealing with a human organism, and human organism is a very dynamic, very chaotic machine, and so you can't always get a human body to be in precisely the same state of being, which is why I would say that statistical tests of probability, bearing in mind maybe even a scientific analysis of the nutritional content, gut flora, and all the rest of the other phenomena that make up a person, should be put into place so you can work out what things are beneficial, what things aren't beneficial towards creating results. But this is something which the scientific community is shunning against, because they're still seeing the New Age world as being pseudoscience full stop, without taking into account the fact that people like me would love to, I mean, I say people like me, maybe I'm the only one, would actually like to try and get some real empirical, or damn near empirical science done on these supernatural things. This practice, called full disclosure, also allows statistical measures of the reliability of this data to be established. Bingo. Scientific statistical measurement. Wouldn't that be great if we could actually do that properly within the New Age world, within the occult world? Alright. We're not even 1/8 through all the stuff I've copied and pasted out of this article, and we've done like nearly a second YouTube video. Okay, I'll be back in just a sec.